excited to share everything that I'm going to be sharing today for you. If you are listening and you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, or even you want to be, I have some great things to share with you. And I know how good I've got things in terms of not just like in black and white what my business looks like. Like I've had an incredible journey. It's literally only been a year. About this time last year, I qualified as a hypnotherapist. And it's just absolutely incredible how fast my business has grown. But I don't even mean that. I just mean how blessed I am to feel the way I feel in my business every single day. And so I want to share some advice with you and share some insight into what it's like for me to run my own business, because I know that I am pretty unique when it comes to how joyfully and problem free things are for me in my business. And it's all down to my mindset and very little to do with strategy. And so I will share some keynotes that came to mind the other day when I planned this episode, and then 5 things that I believe have been a part of my journey to qualifying this time last year to where I am now. So, yeah, a little bit of background and sharing my story. So, first of all, I think the most key thing that you need to have as an entrepreneur is trust, because without that, you're going to be held back a lot or even held back a little bit. Without self trust, it's very hard to get where you need to be, because along with that comes self belief. But without self trust and without self belief, you're going to give up at some point. And you don't necessarily get to where you want to be as quickly as we would like to. You know, progress is not linear, and it takes persistence to just keep going, have a goal in your mind and just keep going. But there's so much more to it than that. So, yeah, I'd just like to share some advice, some general advice that I would say around entrepreneurship, but then also some things about where I am now and the reasons why I think I am where I am now. So, yeah, let's do this. First of all, I would say entrepreneurship is the best form of personal development, because you never, this is my personal experience. I had no idea what I was getting into when I decided to train as a hypnotherapist. And this is me to a T, like I don't plan things. I just live in the moment. And yeah, like I'm not really a planner. I just go with the flow. And so I was like, this is going to be great. I'm going to train as a hypnotherapist. I'm going to have my own business. It's going to be wonderful. And then kind of reality hit me sort of towards the end of my training, when I was sort of charging half price and going to be able to charge full price once I qualified. And running a business, especially a therapy or coaching business, is so much more than what you do. How you actually help clients and the results that you get. You could be like the best life coach or the best therapist in the world, but have next to no clients, because if you don't know how to market yourself and actually get people through the door, you know, or obviously I work online, get people in the Zoom room with you, then it's nothing. You know, you need to be able to have the skills of marketing to connect with the people that you want to work with and be able to cut through the noise so much. And if we have a fear-based mindset, then we're going to hold ourselves back so much. So yeah, I think I was quite naive, shall we say. I was just like, yeah, it's going to be fine. I can do this. And that's obviously been a blessing for me, because I really have just grown so fast. But I'll get deeper into that later on in the episode. So yeah, the best form of personal development, if you're looking to go into business or your early days into owning your own business, just be prepared for one hell of a ride in terms of personal development, and look at that from a positive perspective, because it's incredible. Like, it's incredible how far I have come with my own mindset. And obviously the work that I do is brilliant, because I obviously need to live and breathe what I teach my clients. And so I am in the best place mentally than I have ever been. And therefore I'm living a life that is so joyful and just wonderful. And I teach my clients how to do that, whether my clients are entrepreneurs or not. I tend to work with entrepreneurs more on a one-to-one basis and non-entrepreneurs in my group program, not always, but that tends to be the way. And it is a case of teaching them how the brain works, doing the subconscious reprogramming, and then also sharing how I live my life and my mindset, because it's working. And if you get rid of the subconscious patterns that are holding somebody back, then they can live more joyfully. And that's the aim of the game, isn't it? We want to be able to live our life in a way that feels joyful and free and easy. I believe life is meant to be fun, but you might believe something else. But anyway, we go down a rabbit hole. Let's get back to where we are. I would say the number one thing to keep in mind, well, first of all, is to know what your why is. Why are you running your own business? Because if you don't know that, then you're just going to be in a blurry mess all the time, and you need clarity. My why is to be able to have a business that works around my family life. I've got 3-year-old twin girls, and I want to be there for them of every single opportunity. I want to be there at every school pickup, every school play, every sports day. And I'm building a business that allows me to do that. And it just feels so amazing. And so that is my why. And that's why I work hard. And that's why I do what I do. Next thing, I talked about persistence. Yeah, have in mind what you want to achieve and don't let anything hold you back. Be prepared to do the inner work, and I'll come back to that. Actually, no, let's get to that now. Be prepared to do the inner work. And what I mean by that is the work on yourself. Because if you are running your business is a reflection of you. So if you've got mindset issues, then you need to get to the root of that, because without sorting through that and clearing that, those subconscious blockages, those limiting beliefs that you have, without doing that work, then it's not going to feel joyful. It's not going to feel free. It's going to feel hard work. And you're just not going to be able to have a business that allows freedom, mental and emotional freedom, as well as obviously the tangible freedom that you have, financial or time freedom. So, and I really say this from experience, but also having worked with clients, you are running your own business, you're running the show, and you are the leader. You are driving it forward. And if there are issues, then they're going to be holding you back. So, two of the most common themes around the work that I do with entrepreneurs is a fear of judgment. What are they not doing? What are they sort of shying away from? The actual needle movers that are going to move you forward, it's often down to a fear of judgment. And it's a subconscious pattern and program. That's something that's happened to them at some point in their life that needs clearing. And once that is cleared, then it feels so different to do the things in your business, to have the confidence to just move forwards and make the moves that you need to make. Whether that's talking with your clients from a more leadership standpoint rather than being a friend to them, or holding your boundaries where you want them to be rather than struggling to hold your boundaries. All sorts. There's so much to dive into, and I absolutely love working with business owners because every business owner is a person, right? And as I said, the business is a reflection of the person in front of you. So when I get my business owner clients to be enjoying their life more and working on themselves more, that they are the priority, do the work on them, and the business just takes off. It's incredible. So yeah, fear of judgment is one. And the other big theme that often is a part of our work with entrepreneurs is money mindset. Do you feel shame around charging what you want to charge? Or do you have like money relationship issues? Do you have the belief that you have to work hard for your money? All kinds of beliefs about money that are subconsciously programmed in as a child, the things that you heard growing up will then hold you back if you're trying to run your own business, unless you get those issues and these subconscious blockages cleared. You can get into receiving mode and you can just make your business so, so joyful and easy. Next thing I would like to say is it's always you before your business. Put yourself first, because your business, as I said several times now, your business is a reflection of you. So if you're burnt out and you're working, constantly, always on your to-do list and never ever making time for yourself, then the energy with which you show up in your business, whether that's energy in words, like on your emails or your captions or voice notes or stories or lives, or even if you kind of show up and then don't show up for a couple of weeks because you don't have the energy or whatever it is, it's going to be felt by your audience and it's going to play out in a lack of results for you. Whereas if you put yourself first and focus on yourself and you before your business, that is my mantra, me before my business, always. And bloody hell is it working for me. But if I find the more I practice putting myself first and living a life that feels joyful, free and easy, the better things get. It's just the most amazing thing. So yeah, practice putting yourself first. Next thing, don't put anyone up on a pedestal. Definitely invest. I've invested heavily in myself in terms of business coaching, but definitely don't put anybody up on a pedestal. You are equal to everybody out there. You're not ahead of your clients, or your coach is not ahead of you, nothing like that. See everybody as equal, and you are just as worthy as everybody else out there. And on alongside that, I haven't written this down as a note, but stay in your own lane. Like, have people on your social media feed that inspire you. But if you catch yourself comparing yourself, then that's a sign that there's some inner work to do. Well, I never look at other people and just think, oh, I wish I'd had that, or I wish I'd done that, I wish I'd had that idea. I never do that, honestly, because I'm so focused on myself and my own business that I see things and I think, oh, that's really inspiring. Like, that's a great idea, but I don't feel the need to copy, or I don't feel jealous or anything like that. And when you can see somebody else's success and feel joyful and good for them, like you're in that energy of celebration for that person rather than envious, then that is a really good place to be in, because that energy, in terms of, like, I talk about manifestation a lot, but in terms of the energy of celebrating somebody and knowing that abundance is not limited, somebody else can have wild success and there's always going to be enough for you. That is the energy that you want to sit in. And if you notice that you're envious of somebody, then that's a sign of some deeper subconscious work to do on yourself. What else have I got? I've got do what feels good. So, yeah, I might come back to that later on, like from a more personal perspective. Another thing here, not one thing is going to make the difference. So, in your business, have the perspective of just doing the things that the needle moving tasks, but don't have the energy of, I'm going to do this live and I really hope somebody's going to DM me, or I'm going to send this email and I really hope somebody replies, whatever. Just do what you need to do and be detached from the outcome, because if you can do your work from a place of, not one thing that I do is going to make the difference, but actually it's an accumulation of all the things that you're doing, then that takes the pressure off. And in terms of energy, again, that is going to bring you more success, because you're on the frequency of, I know what I do is enough and I don't need to see instant results. I'm just trusting in myself, trusting in the universe. And always that's a better energy to sit in. So, yeah, just go live if you feel like going live, send an email if you feel like sending an email. I say this once you've done the work, hopefully you don't have too much work to work on, but do the things that feel joyful, basically, without an expectation. Be detached from the results. Next thing I would say is to invest. And like I said before, invest, invest, invest. It collapses your timeline, and trust in yourself to make those investments. And just know that investments do feel scary sometimes, but the definition of investment is that you're going to get things back. Okay. So trust and believe in yourself to make the right investments. And if you've made bad and like regrettable investment choices before, then forgive yourself for that. Don't let that hold you back from making an investment that you feel would be good, but you can't possibly do that because you've done something before and it was a bad idea. Like, that's a surefire way to end up giving up. Yeah. So forgive yourself for anything that you need to from the past, so that you can not let it hold you back. Well, and I mean that in terms of investment, or anything else. Next one I have got, oh, and I like this. This ties in nicely with the investment piece. So if you have a business coach and they give you some advice, you don't need to take that advice. Okay. And I've written down on my paper here, stop doing things people say you should do without going within first. Because you need to run a business that feels aligned to you. And if you're not doing something that's aligned, then there's going to be resistance, and it's going to make you feel off in some way, and it's going to affect your results. So, myself, in terms of myself and my trust and everything, I don't follow the rules. I really don't follow the rules. I listen to advice and I go within. I always go within and I take the steps that feel aligned. Okay. So don't put any business coach or anybody up on a pedestal. Trust yourself to always know best. Definitely listen to advice, but the things that you do, the action that you take, must feel aligned. And having that good relationship with yourself and building that trust in yourself is so important, because when you can trust yourself and trust yourself to know what feels aligned, then you're going to make much, much faster progress, because you will allow your intuition to guide you rather than not trusting yourself and feeling like you have to do things a certain way because somebody that you admire so much and has got amazing results has said that you should do that. No, trust yourself first. Okay. You can follow the same steps as somebody else who's created wild success in their business, but you're not that person. Your energy is different. Your life experience is different. And so it has to feel aligned and you have to do the work first because it's not about strategy. Things like algorithm and all kinds of stuff like that, it's very minimal. And engagement, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can have several people in your audience literally about to buy from you, but you wouldn't know it because they never like your posts. You just don't know. It's not about engagement. Obviously, it's ideal because the more engagement you get, the more your posts are seen, but it really isn't. The lurker game is strong, okay? I get people reaching out to me that have ignored when I get a new follower, for example, I send them a welcome message, welcome them into the community. And, several times now I've had somebody reach out to me and say they really want to work with me, and then I go back in the feed and they just hearted my welcome message or they didn't even reply. Like, it doesn't matter. Not making that mean anything. Yeah. And this is another thing. Don't tell yourself the stories that are going to hold you back. Make sure that your thoughts are in line with what is empowering. Okay. Oh, I literally could go on for an hour. I hope you're ready for an extra long episode here. Because, yeah, there's just so much to say. The stories that you tell yourself are very, very important. So be aware of that. And if you're telling yourself a story that is limiting and holding you back in some way, then just know that that's going to hold you back more and more and more. You don't know, okay? You think you know. We have these tiny human brains that know nothing in relation to the universe and the limitless potential that is available to you. So if you can just trust and know that you are always supported, trust in yourself and trust in timing and just trust, and also to let it be easy. Oh, I wish that I could just transfer all of these feelings that I have about my business over to you because it just feels truly incredible to be so mentally free in my business. And I don't even niche down. Like, I could work with just entrepreneurs, but I tend to be a bit of a rule breaker. I'll talk about more of that in a bit. Like, there's rules that I just don't follow. And I've invested heavily in business coaching for myself. But in terms of the content, the strategy that's available to me in that business program, I've barely scratched the surface. And that's okay because I'm choosing to do things my way. I know what feels aligned to me, and that is to trust my intuition. But doesn't mean to say that I don't value immensely, like hugely value the support that is in that community. I do. I just choose to do things my way. And so, yeah, in terms of the niche, I'm a rule breaker there. I could just work with entrepreneurs if I wanted to, but that doesn't feel aligned to me. I love working with non-entrepreneurs too. Like, my group program is mainly for non-entrepreneurs, and it's just the most incredible thing that lifts me up and gives me so much fulfillment. And then I tend to work with entrepreneurs on a one-to-one. But if you look at my feed, you wouldn't really necessarily know that I work with entrepreneurs, but I just attract them because people see, if I've got business owners watching me on Instagram or whatever, or listen to the podcast, they can see how joyful and free and easy I let things be. And obviously, if you want that, then you're going to reach out to me. And I do say I work with entrepreneurs too. So yeah, surround yourself. Another thing before I get onto kind of the journey from last year to where I am now and the things that have made the difference. One more thing to say is surround yourself with next level people who inspire you in terms of where do you want to be? Surround yourself with that kind of person. And if that means investing in coaching, then do it. Honestly, I am such an advocate for investing in yourself in terms of whether that's coaching or investing in yourself to like clear inner blockages or whatever, subconscious reprogramming, whatever. Just investing is the most powerful thing I think you can do because you get to collapse your timeline. That's all my notes for sort of general pieces of advice. Next week, I'll be diving into the things that I believe have made the difference and helped me have a really fast journey to where I am now. Much more of a personal episode. So yeah, look forward to sharing that with you next week. My mission with this podcast and why I started it was to serve. And so I really hope that everything I've shared with you today and in previous episodes is serving you and helping you to change your life. It requires consistent action. It requires effort. But if you're willing to put in the work, then you can absolutely change a great deal just by listening to me and implementing my advice. However, if you're listening and you would like to work with me, then obviously I work too. I do solution focused hypnotherapy and much more. And my program is called Change Your Life. And it's a program that I'm really proud of. So if you're interested in this and would like some more information about how it works and whether it would be right for you, then do get in touch with me via the information in the show notes. Thanks again for listening. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would love for you to share it with a friend or stick it up on stories on Instagram and tag me at Believe and Achieve with Jenna. See you next week.